To be or not to be is a question. And I'm looking at that this week as to be or not to be is my reality. With where I'm at and where these guys were at. You can find this in Matthew chapter 8, beginning at verse 28. You can also find this in Mark, the 5th chapter, also chapter 1 through 17. It tells a little bit different rendition of the story, but that there were two guys there. But as you think about this story and you get into it, and why it happened, earlier the Pharisees were rejecting Jesus, and people were rejecting him over in his land. And so this is the first time now that he's actually going to the Gentile nation. This is the first time he's taken his disciples over there. One of the disciples say, "Hey, I'll follow you wherever you want. Wherever you take me, I'll go wherever you want." Because this was crazy to go to where they were going to go, which was the other side of the lake. No one was going to the other side of the lake. And so this was a bad thing, at least for a Jewish believing person. And so now the one says, "Hey, I'll follow you wherever you want me to do." And the other one says, "Let me go bury my father, he's dead." Some people were making excuses because this was not a good place where someone would want to go. For the things, the acts that they were doing, I won't go into that. But anyway, so they're on their way there, and as they get to the beach, as you saw, these guys come running out. Now, to me, that was a little bit... I guess you wouldn't expect to see that in church, because it was kind of scary, a little bit, and it was like a little freaky. You don't usually see that thing. The last time I seen anything that was bad as far as demon possession, stuff like that, was The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
If you grew up in my generation, maybe you saw that movie, maybe you didn't. Fortunately, you didn't. But there were a lot of people afraid, and it was kind of scary.
Sure was.
Really. Now, when I look at these two guys, I go, here are two guys that are completely full of hell. Full of it. I don't know what happened in their life that they would get to a point where all this stuff was going on, that they were isolated from society and everyone else was just these two guys together, no clothes, self-destructive behaviors, cutting, doing all kinds of things, could not be controlled or contained. I've never seen anyone like that. Have you? I mean, I've never seen, if you stop and actually think about this was probably freaking them out as they were on the boat, and these guys are running up to them, one naked, two, they're screaming and coming after them. I've never seen it. I've seen problems in life, and I've seen problems in my own life and people's lives, but I've never seen anything that drastic or that bad. Which tells me there's hope for you and for me. Complete hope. We'll get into that here shortly. So these guys, I'm in Matthew chapter 8, these guys come up and they're filled with Satan. And I stop and think, Jesus, now he's got them before him. He commands them to stop. For some reason they bow right before him. And here's Jesus. I think it says in John 1, verse 1, verse 3, verse 14, that Jesus is this one who created all things. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 2 says, by all things were made by him. John 8, verse 58, everything that came into being was made by him. Colossians 1:16, everything came by Jesus, and that's why they wanted to kill him. Because he said, before Abraham was, I am, which said, I am the creator. I created all this stuff. And they're like, you blasphemer, we want to kill you for that. Because he was claiming to be God, the creator and stuff. And so he stands, I'm just trying to picture this. He's standing there, these guys are there, and there are also, I'll say contemporaries of heaven at one point in life and in time. And he says, who are you? And they say, well, we're a legion, which is about, as you may know, 4,000 to 5,000. Okay? 4,000 to 5,000. So here's these two guys, the Creator, these angels whom He created, and now they're all at war, they're all at conflict. To be or not to be. And so they start telling the lies. Will you come to torture us already? You come to do all these bad things to us? And one thing I've noticed is that when we're thinking badly, when our minds are not focused, the first person to blame about things is God, really. And that's where it comes from. This idea, you're just going to do bad to us, and this is going to bad happen, and that's going to happen bad. And so, here's this idea, and here's what they're saying, and Jesus, as we know, He cast those demons out. He was casting them out, figuring out who they were, and they went into the pigs. Now the pigs whether you like bacon or not. Whether you like bacon or not. For that area there, pigs were used as sacrifices because people believed that they could be forgiven by sacrifices of pigs. Right? So it's kind of odd that through these demons, they went off into these pigs and they all died and went through all their stuff. And all this commotion going on, and they go and tell the people of the city, and the city comes out. It's not just two guys screaming at him. But here's this organized demonic force in the midst of two people. And to me, that is a dilemma. Serious dilemma. But real. Travis, you mentioned something earlier about remembering the struggles that we go through. Are not people versus people, but against principalities and dark forces and princes of darkness and these kind of things. And so here they are, cosmic conflict, struggle going on right here in the flesh. Not just